Okay, so we're live. Great. All right, so sign into chat just in case anybody chats. Web browser. All right. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to post my pitch just in case anybody feels like it. This isn't going to take a long, but this is going to be mostly Patreon members that see this anyways. So oh right, I can't. Damn. Chalkmaster Dave. There we go. Okay. So earlier, and again, many people may not be. Let me show you. Oh, that's me. Okay. I worked on this morning on the other video. I was showing people how to make grays. Here we go. Way up here. Camera's way up here. By using oranges and blues to make a cool gray, and then greens and reds to make a dark gray, like a warm gray. So warms and cools, and then a little bit of black, a little bit of white. So, and the first layer I did of this, I used basically this one. Right, you can see it matches. Oh, I got a little black on it. I compromised the color a tiny bit. So I did that to do the whole basic, and then I started using cools and warm grays to start giving some definition here. So what we're going to do is work on this part here only. Actually, I'm going to work on, this is just a real quick little piece, but that'll show you too. Watch. Over here, use that warm gray. And then you use the cool gray. And it's going to blend in a bit, so it's not going to be as bright right away. And that's okay. And it's okay to get a little messy up there. Not that you're painting the same picture that I'd be painting necessarily. But this isn't a tutorial on like, hey, this is how you paint Tina Turner. This is learning how to use your grays and make good grays, right? People mix a lot together, black and white, and it doesn't make a good gray. So look, I'm actually gonna, here, I'll take some white. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. So many screens. All right, see, I'm gonna take a bit of white here, put some black in it. See now, see the difference? I know it's hard with the light. Oh, I'm gonna drip everywhere. But it's kind of like a chalky, pasty gray as opposed to a warm and cool gray. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just, it doesn't feel like a proper gray. So don't use black and white for your grays. I mean, if that's all you have, that's all you have. But yeah, this will give your black and white paintings a lot more depth. And I've got some compliments, which is really nice. That you know, people said, "Oh, your black and whites, they just have so much depth and stuff." And it's like it's all because of this. It's not because I'm even the best artist. I'm not like I'm okay, but I mean, it's mostly because I'm learning to use my grays properly. So here we go. These colors work really nice. Also, the next videos are going to be, so we're going to do basically working only those two colors for the most part, and then I'll use a little white to show you the super contrast. But mostly, I just want to show you how you apply them. And then in the next video, oh, camera's here. In the next video, we're going to work on this dress a little and give it that kind of shiny, leathery look like she was wearing. So there's no music. I'm not partying tonight. I'm only having just one glass of wine just to chill out. This is more of an art lesson for my Patreon people and my supporters like Mary and Mary here. You guys get to see this. All right, so we're going to start with, even if it gets again, these may be boring. So we got our nice warm gray here. I'll just cover these shoulders. Look at these nice big shoulders. God, she's in better shape than I am. But that makes sense. I mean, if you can dance for 30 years in high heels, you're probably in pretty good shape. So what we want to do is just cover the whole area here. We're going to stop here because there's some shadow work here because obviously light source. But we just want to get this done. So just now imagine you were painting along, or you're going to see this on Patreon and you're going, oh, okay, I'm going to paint like you don't have to necessarily have the same shapes as me. Like say I'm whatever level at art, you don't have to be that level, and I don't have to be a super level either. But what we want to do is have our basics always good. It's really important for that. And I learned this late in life. So if you think, oh, I can't do that, I'm so old and not young, you're wrong. Because the gray thing, I didn't learn until like, what, 6-7 years ago or something? All right, so I'll be quiet for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lighter here. Look, this is the cool gray now. See already how it looks like it's starting to contrast so sharply and nicely. We haven't even put the white in. So we're just going to take that tip of the brush there and we're just going to kind of blend it in a little. Because we are blenderizers. I'm blending. All right, now here and here are going to be the same. Because this is going to become super bright later. But you don't want to skip these steps. You want to go, okay, do this and this at the same time. You want to keep them the same. So we're going to shade in the bicep a little bit. Notice you don't really need much paint. If you notice, I don't dip my brush all that often. And one of the reasons why is I water down my acrylics. If you don't, you probably shouldn't water them. You should, here, where's my thing? What you should do if you want to use proper stuff. This is open thinner. There, camera. This is from Golden. It thins them down without losing the color. Me, I'm just like, I've been so used to watering them down so that I can kind of get a watercolor look sometimes an oil color look. But anyways, that's another day. So we're just going to work on this. Remember, we want to keep the same color throughout these shades here. And that'll become important momentarily. Now don't worry about too much about up here because her hair is going to come down here. Like little, well, you know that famous hair that she had? I don't even know. I haven't seen her in a while. Maybe she's got no hair. Maybe she's got a mohawk. Oh my God, with the hair she had, could you imagine how good her mohawk would be? Her mohawk game would be on fire, bro. All right. This is nice, and it's going to just let it dry a little. There we go. Now, we're going to take a little bit of the darky. All right? The darky. See? The darkiness. This is the flat black, and we're going to go, but just a little. Right? Now we're going to drag it just a little line. Look at this. Look, just all the way down. Just separating the two. That doesn't look right, Dave. That's okay. It will. And then I'm going to dip my brush again in the mid darky. And then I'm just going to slowly just kind of, almost like a pencil, just shading, right? And see, I'm following the shape of her bicep a little because, again, she was in great shape. She is probably, she's definitely my top 3 female singers, performers of all time, for sure. I love her. She's great. And if it wasn't for YouTube algorithms, I'd be playing Tina Turner songs right now. But what I am going to do, and be patient. So we put a little, we just want to do light layers. This is why I Dave, where are your words? You're not even drunk. This is why I like to water down my paint and just go over very thin layers, right? Because then that, people are like, how do you get those details? Well, it's not even so much details that I have. It's just thin. Like, as you notice, if I keep going over this, it's just slowly fading so naturally. Like, it looks like you're almost a genius at this, but it's really, I'm not a genius at all. I just know a couple little things, and I have somewhat of a steady hand. All right. There we go. Now look at, this is really starting to look very natural. Isn't that natural? Hello, natural Tina. All right, now I'm going to take a bit more of the dark color. This is just a flat black. It's not even a super use flat for this kind of thing. This is all a flat background. So then when I need to see, this is from my hand rubbing or whatever, these little streaks, I can cover that up again with that same flat black. So always have that same color. Don't mix that. Always have a just that. How many times am I going to say flat black? Come on, Dave. Listen to yourself. All right, so now we're just going to shade a bit right around here. Goes over here because think of your body. There's a little, there'd be a little shadow there, not dark, but it'd be there because the arm's coming forward. So we're just going to lightly. And the good thing with using like these three basic colors like this, if you go a little too much, you can lighten it again, just add a little more, and it's not going to look awkward at all. You know, unlike sometimes when you're doing a painting, and if you've mixed a certain color and you can't figure out how to get that mix again. Well, like with me, all I did was a tiny bit of orange, tiny bit of teal, tiny bit of ultramarine blue. Then I added a tiny bit of white. That got me that. So I know that was just red, and that's just red and green in there with a teeny tiny bit of white. That's it. So that I can remember because these are basic colors, right? Just forest green, cadmium red. Super simple. There's no fancy nothing. You make your own shades or tones, I guess, when it's grays. All right, so we're almost ready to throw in some super highlights here. Okay, this is kind of weird. I'm just in case anybody ever sees this that I don't know yet. Usually, I get pretty loaded, and I got the music cranked really loud, and I'm just like, wee. But I'm trying to do something for my patrons, and I'm trying to be a little, oh my God, dare I say it? A little grown up and mature. Just the sound of it is disgusting. All right. Anyways, so let's get this arm in here. Remember, it was a little separate. Now this is going to dry for a few minutes. I'm using both the warm and the cool at the same time because this is kind of shaded in here a bit. Get that elbow. Hello, elbow. How are you? Oh, just fine. Just feel like a joint. Get it? I just made an elbow joke. Feel like a joint. I ha 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 because it's so funny. How do I get so funny? I don't know how I did that. Okay, so before we get too much darkness over here, right? We're gonna do that. Remember the cool gray? I'm gonna put it on top, and we're gonna follow her muscle tone. And again, it doesn't matter if you're painting Tina Turner or a dog or whatever it is you do. Your highlights, you know, you get your mediums and get your highlights like this, and then we're gonna do the ultra highlights at the end there, which won't take long. But see how easy too. This is why I love doing black and white. I mean, I can do color, but I'm not as good with color as I am black and white. But look how so smooth we can. And then I'm just barely going over it with the tip. That kind of sounds funny. All right, boom. See how easy? Boom. It's so easy. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. That sounds like if somebody's trying to learn, that sounds like I'm being a little condescending or something. I'm not. All right, so let's get the darkity dark into the parts that are super darky. There we go. Follow up there. A little over here where her wrist bone is. And these are just nice little shades. And just put the marks. Remember, we're going wet on wet shading here. It's real easy. There we go. I need a little more there. Okay, again, a little more. I'm being a little careful. There. Okay. Now remember, this is still wet. So you don't have to like rush too much. And if you were using this thinner, it's going to stay wet a little longer. So you don't have to rush it. Now we're just going to, kind of like a pencil crown almost, just go over those spots. And just keep doing that until it just blends in real nice. oops, I forgot that part. All right, now that we got this all pretty cool, we're gonna tiny bit highlight here, here, and a little bit there. Not much, but just a little bit. Wipe the excess off. Probably should use a napkin. I like to ruin my hoodies. All right, so now you're using the warm or cool gray again. So you're not making a super highlight yet. You're not adding any white yet. You will in a bit. Just a moment though. You just want to get everything kind of at that same level. There we go. And you should notice that this starts to look kind of natural in the form of the way her body would move, right? Just cover that up a little. I can see that was a little too, there we go, that's a little better. Okay, see, and not a lot of hard lines. There will be in a moment. Now I'm gonna just get rid of that, rinse that brush a little. So this is nice to actually see my regs here. Mary and Mary. Why did I sing that? Thank you. I enjoy watching. Good. She's a powerhouse. Yeah, you're right. She's freaking awesome. I've been watching you do this. However, having this closer up in steps is really helpful. Thank you. You're very welcome. I basically have saved the world. But yeah, I like this. I think giving Facebook a little teaser or something like that. But I think this is what, you know, the people that are really supporting. This is what, and I know some of you guys are artists, so. And sometimes I just need the break. That's why I never, and it's not a matter of like, and I cut down drinking by like at least half, and not because I'm like, oh, you should change it. I don't care. Like I enjoy drinking wine. It's great. But one thing I found is I was basically making videos like almost more like, yay, let's just have fun, as opposed to doing this stuff like slowing it down and just kind of basics, right? So it's just like, you know what, just on those days, go have fun, do your drinking, but other days just slow down and do this. And it helps me too to just do these slow close-up videos, talk it out without a musical distraction, possibly answer questions to people who might actually think I have something to offer instead of just, you know, partying. All right, now we're going to do some more highlights. Okay. All right, so I got Tina's arm here. Let me. All right, this is where you're like, oh, please don't screw up. But again, probably not going to. Now I'm going to use just the, oh, look at how bright that is. Just the white. And I use titanium white for this. That's, where is my, well, you know what? You can remember that word. If not, rewind it. It's, I use golden titanium white. All right, here we go. And we're just going to highlight. This gorgeous sample of a female arm. Like, not so big, not so small, just like you knew this. She was a freaking rock star. That's why when they made that movie, Ike and Turner, or Turner and Ike, whatever, I can't remember the title, but Angela Bassett played her, and I was like, was that the perfect person to play her? Because Angela Bassett is also a powerhouse. Yeah, okay. There we go. Now see how much that just jumps out. Just by keeping everything very like two-tone-ish, this just makes it go pop. And remember, the hair is going to be like, right? So it's gonna, so don't even worry about this. No, I don't want to get into it because then I'll have to, but that's gonna be, yeah, bro. Okay, so we're gonna just highlight a couple little spots here that kind of need it. Over to the right, there was a little light, not too much. I don't want to overdo it too much, but there was some. And this is the part where you got to be really gentle, but it's not so bad. Just a little bit of white, like just You're just barely tapping it. Just go over 5, 6, 10 times, whatever it takes, but very, very light. And be patient. Don't push hard. That's what she said. There we go. That should be just enough. And then down here at the bicep, same thing. Just very gentle. There we go. All right. And then just a little here, because this is where your shoulder comes in, your trapeze, your trap, and connect. So you're just going to have just a little. Again, not too much, but you got to be really gentle here. There we go. There we go. A couple of highlights here, and that's it. Then we're done this section. But see how when some art is weird. I find for me when I try too hard, it doesn't work as well. But when I just chill and think about the basics and the light a bit, there we go. That should pretty much do it. And then I'm gonna give this a tiny tinge of a highlight, like just a teeny tiny. Because like it's a bony part of your wrist that comes. There we go. That's enough. And there's just a tiny little. And all these weird little spots that look like they have a tiny bit of white. This is then again this particular picture. But what you'll notice is if you're doing something like a rock stars, because they have like they're dancing around, they're sweating, their body's all weirded and shit like that. So you're going to see little spots that go, well, that doesn't seem quite normal. But you just got to remember, this is like an action shot, right? They're not sitting still. Like they're supposed to have like a little weird shape and stuff to their things and their stuffs because, well, they're right now. This is where she was currently on stage going, probably singing. I bet she was singing, "You're simply the best, how better than all the rest." Better than anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck in your heart, babe. I hang on every word you say. Something, 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 something. Something, something, I would rather be dead. You're simply the best. Now I'm going to go listen to that song. So anyways, there was a little quick step-by-step. 20 some odd, oh, look at my ugly face. 20 some odd minutes. I'm going to put this up on Patreon. So Patreon gets this, not the Facebook people. So yeah, I love this arm. You're right, it is a beautiful arm. And it works so well. Like it's just these two-tone. And because you're using warm and cool grays, instead of that chalky white kind of look, it actually looks like it has depth and value. So these things are important. So the next one I'm going to show you guys in the next video, we're going to work on this dress here. I'll turn this up a little so you can see where we're going here. I don't want you to... Oh, whoopsie. Where do you go? Yeah, we're going to work on that. I'm so good at camera. So the next video, we're going to work on this. So I'm going to paint this on my own now. Because you've got the point of this arm. We're going to work on the dress and show you how to make it super shiny and stuff. So, thanks for coming by, guys. And remember, patrons, you can go see this. Mary and Mary, you got to see it because you're supporters and you're here on my YouTube. All those other Facebook people could have seen it for free, but nope. They didn't want to pay attention. So anyways, I'm going to go, guys. Where do I end the stream? And I hope you... thanks for coming by.